Outlook in life is there's not enough time to do all the things that I want to do. I just feel like I don't have enough lives to do all the things that the world has to offer, and I want to experience it all because I feel like our time on Earth, our life is actually really short in the grand scheme of things, and there's so many things out there to experience. My name is Gloria. My pronouns are she and they. My derby name, very creatively, is Gloria Guns, which is very, very close to my legal name. I didn't have like a really creative idea like other people do to have like a pun-based roller derby name. For me, because I was a musician, so I was playing a lot of music and I already had the stage name Gloria Guns, so I thought that like I would just use that persona as my derby name, and it's worked out. I think originally I was calling myself Gloria Guns because I was very proud of my arm muscles at the time, but then I've met some really, really strong buff people in derby, so I don't know if it's the same thing to highlight anymore, or I don't know if that your camera's gonna get the definition here, but anyway. And my derby number is 4444, mainly because in Korean culture, in general Asian numerology, 4 is a really, really unlucky number. It's considered to be like the death number, and so I thought having 4 4s would be extra deadly and unlucky, so that's how I came up with that as my derby number.
That's a gnarly scrape on your arm.
I decided to try my off-road skate on the pump track, the gravel pump track at the skate park, and I've discovered that it hurts much more to fall on gravel. I work for the government. I'm a bureaucrat, and I'm also a PhD student hoping to finish my dissertation this year and to graduate. So I started doing the 101 Intro to Derby courses, and I'm a really slow learner, so it really took me a long time just to learn how to skate.
My name is Kim. My derby name is The Real Kim Shady, and my pronouns are they, them. I am a skater and director of skater development. Like, she was a Bambi skater. She was very new to skating.
And then when I was starting to feel ready to do more derby strategies.
And then the pandemic hit.
And there was no derby for a while.
And she just went to the skate park all the time.
And everything was shut down. That's when I really took up going to the skate park and got to be a much better skater. And then when derby picked up again.
And she came back and she was amazing. We were like, what?
I, continued to learn how to play the game. So I didn't actually end up playing my first full contact roller derby game until last year, 5 years later. I play for Ottawa Roller Derby and I play for Ottawa Valley Roller Derby as well. For Ottawa Roller Derby, I'm on the Bytown Blackhearts, and for Ottawa Valley Roller Derby, I'm on their house league team, the Valley Cats. I am primarily a jammer. I actually don't like touching other people, so my instinct when I'm in a pack is to get out of it and to get away from other people. I felt like in the last couple of games, felt like I was starting to expand my style a little bit more too. Like, was doing a bit of what you might call water jamming, where, people were hitting me and I would just kind of flow with it.
What her strengths are, she's just really agile. She's super agile. She can get around anybody. I think it's all her skate park activities that really have helped with her agility. Gloria just has such a good attitude. She is game to try anything.
And I did try hitting people a couple of times. I mean, it wasn't super effective. Like one or two people fell, but it was kind of fun to be able to try some new things.
She'll just charge at them with all of her tiny little self and do the tiniest little shoulder punch. But she actually has quite a lot of fury and energy in her body. So she's getting quite good at that. But
I really want to work on being able to hit and take a hit. And that was like the key thing that I wasn't able to practice during the height of the pandemic, where I was hanging out of the skate park and working on super cool tricks. But for obvious reasons, I was not touching other people. But I have started to see how other jammers and blockers who are about my size can still pack a really powerful punch, and it has to do with using your body in a efficient and explosive manner that I think I need to work on. For example, Shortstop's really cool jammer to watch because she is an earth jammer. So she manages to just knock people out of her way despite being a very short person. Kind of inspires me to try to expand my style. This summer I got to play with Team Korea at RollerCon in Las Vegas, and it was an incredible experience. It was just amazing to be able to play with really high-level skaters, to meet shortstop again. And just to clarify, we didn't have enough Korean skaters to make a full team for Team Korea, and so I think we actually went as Team Korea and Friends. So it was my first time playing roller derby on a team where everyone else was also Asian. Because I've talked before about how, generally speaking, roller derby is often a very white sport. So, and I've gotten used to that, but to be able to play on Team Korea with a bunch of also short Asian women was a really cool experience. They let me jam, which was very nice of them, because I think we lost by over 100 points. The other team was really good. I feel like they probably had met each other more than 5 minutes before the game started, and they played very well. It could have been easy to feel overwhelmed by the fact that I was jamming so poorly, but I really appreciated that it was a really good chance to understand what it's like to play against really, really good blockers that were not giving me any space whatsoever, and to understand, okay, this is the level that I need to get to. And also, I'm playing with shortstop. Some of these skaters have been skating for 20 years. And I'm talking about the people on Team Korea. So I was just so thrilled from that experience of doing that it didn't matter that we lost. No one on the team seemed to be getting mad about the fact that we were losing by 100 points. World Cup is next year. I've applied to play on Team Korea there, so we'll see, but I'm hoping for it. My chances aren't zero. So I remember the first time I moved into doing some contact at roller derby. I was so excited. And then as soon as people started hitting me, I realized, oh, this is actually quite painful. A lot of people are bigger and stronger than me. So, you know, sometimes I will like run at a blocker and just like, just bounce right off of them and they don't move. There's a part of me that, even though roller derby is a team sport, there's a sort of solo aspect of jamming that I really enjoy. I mean, I am working with my team as well, but primarily I'm just focusing on my goal of getting away from everyone else. The other aspect that I want to get more comfortable with derby is just the whole idea of playing in a team sport. I'm really trying to learn how to work with a team and communicate. It's hard sometimes because sometimes I just don't communicate. I just expect people to read my mind and know that I was thinking of certain things. So
my name is Ben. My derby name is Patat. My pronouns are she, her. In the league right now, I am a coach and a skater. I love being part of a team. Played on the same team, but different teams also every year. So, I mean, it's always been the Bytown Blackhearts. That's not true. Sometimes it's been Team Ordy, but it's always been like Ordy's team that I've played on. But there's different people on the team every year. And so it's always a different team. So there have been years where I have absolutely loved being on the team and felt like I fit in and I was contributing to the team and we were all friends and it was all wonderful. It's like the dream team I think we had for a few years. For me, I'm not saying our team now isn't great, but in terms of fitting in and feeling comfortable, I think there were a few years that I had that and I loved being part of the team and I loved everything about it.
I'm not exactly shy, but I am an introvert and I do have a tendency to sort of withdraw a little bit when I feel overwhelmed being in a crowd. Sometimes I'm not sure if people are mad at me or if they think I'm doing well. Like I just have like no sense of how I'm doing in other people's eyes. So sometimes it's a bit of a struggle trying to figure out if I'm like really disappointing my teammates by like not doing something right or if I'm doing well, you know, so it's a bit tricky sometimes trying to read that.
At other times being on the team is stressful because I feel like I'm not good enough for the team or I'm letting the team down or I don't fit in with the team. So it's a mixed bag, I would say.
The difficulty about being a jammer is that it's me that scores the points. So if I don't do well, it really lets the whole team down, quite literally. And so I'm sometimes really worried about if I'm going to be disappointing my teammates. In many ways, I've learned to not care about what other people think of me. In this specific context, it actually does matter that I'm not letting my team down.
And she's only continued improving. She's constantly improving. She constantly amazes me with her agility and she's so humble. Like she doesn't think she's good. She thinks she just doesn't think she's at a very high level, and I don't understand it.
I try not to let it get into my head too much, you know, because what really matters ultimately is, can we play together? Even if they might not be my best friend, if it's really possible that we would play really well together on the team.
I think if I can play, feel like I was effective on the track, feel like I didn't make dumb mistakes, or that I wasn't just lost doing nothing, then I would feel like I did a good job. There was a period of time that I think I was quite effective. I had a year that I was a pretty good jammer, and I had a few years where I felt pretty effective as a blocker and pivot. Yeah, I think it was also part of that team cohesiveness of the team working really well together and knowing where my teammates were going to be. And they knew how I skated, and they knew exactly what I was going to do. So it made it like a little bit easier to feel successful on the track.
I really need to learn to control that anxiety, like not let it take over too much.
And then Baywatch currently just really wants to push me. And so she's kind of made it her personal mission to get me back into my top jamming form as soon as I'm better. As a jammer, I mentioned to her that I wanted to start jamming again because I started out as a jammer and I really loved it, and I stopped partially because I wanted to work on my blogging, but partially because I thought other people were better than me and they should get to jam. I kind of thought about, well, I'm in a rec league for a reason, and the reason is that everyone gets to play the position they want to play and they get equal play time, and we don't care about winning, so maybe I shouldn't be afraid of not being the best jammer and try to develop that skill again.
Do really love that aspect of ORD. And in fact, as much as I said all this stuff about worrying about disappointing people, I really appreciate that people like Van and Coach Baywatch have repeatedly reassured us that it's not about winning for our league. It's about, you know, doing our best and working together.
And I tell people all the time, no one cares about your progress but you. I mean, your coaches care about your progress, but we're not judging you for making mistakes or for making slow progress.
That really works well for me. It makes me feel better about, you know, trying new things and maybe making mistakes. And I've actually learned that when I'm in a low pressure environment where people are saying, it doesn't matter, it's okay, I actually do really well. For some reason, when I'm told that it's okay to suck, that for some reason gives me motivation to do really well. In roller derby, I can't tell how people feel about me. I have a hard time, generally speaking, like reading people and understanding like all the social interactions that happen. So I don't really know how people feel about me.
So my name is Erin, aka Booty Vicious. My pronouns are she, her.
The jammers have a special club.
Maybe this is like a jammer code.
So if you want to be like a legit jammer, you have to get a, what is that, cheetah print?
Some of the leagues have like off-skate uniforms too. We'll just all wear really cool coats and we'll come in looking super...
Except that our season's in summer.
Yeah, that's good.
My family is biracial. My mother is white. Dad is Jamaican Caribbean with some like East Indian. I grew up in like a biracial household, and it was hard to understand where you fit in the Canadian world. I got a lot of the where are you from?
What are you?
But where are you really
Yes.
from? And derby is yet another example of a very white space. In my 101, we had a number of people from different backgrounds, and I don't think any of them continued on in the league, which is so sad. I think it's a shame, and I don't know what could be done. I became interested in derby in the early aughts, but I didn't have the courage to try it and to like put myself in that space because I didn't feel like it was a space for me. I didn't think that that was something that I would be maybe welcome to do. Like I didn't know where I fit. Fast forward almost 20 years later, and I was like, fuck it, for lack of a better word. Why am I limiting myself because of thinking I don't belong in spaces? So join derby.
Maybe this is a thing that happens when you start to enter your 30s and 40s. You're just like, no, I'm just gonna be here and be myself, and you're gonna have to deal with it. You know? I remember when I first joined ORD, I was just out of crash course after they introduced all the new people, and she came up to me and she's like, it's nice to see another Asian face in the league. And I remember like really appreciating that she was acknowledging that we're in the minority here, but that she was going to be a welcoming and friendly face.
Seeing people that look like you matters in sport, in life, like doing the things that you want to do, it makes a huge difference.
So like when I was playing for Team Korea, I knew there was a whole bunch of people that looked like me. This sense of relief that I had felt that I hadn't noticed before. It's more like an absence of a feeling. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I do. I get that. That does make sense to me. Like it's walking into a space where you're not the only one. Like something about that makes a big difference, I think. Yeah.
When I was a kid, first actually before I moved to Ottawa, I was living in a really small town in the States. Pretty sure I was the only person of color. And so my early childhood experiences were feeling different from other people. And that's just kind of how I grew up. Even moving to Ottawa, I still felt very different from a lot of my peers, despite the fact that there's more of an immigrant population here. It's a very frustrating conversation when people try to ask, where are you from? And I'm like, well, Ottawa. And they're like, well, where were you really from? And then I get more complicated. Well, I was born in Waterloo, but then we moved to Hamilton for a little while, and then we moved back to Waterloo, and then I grew up in the States, and they're like, no, where are you really from? And then I realized what they're actually asking.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
Feeling like an outsider, outside of Derby, having a lot of experiences. I've had multiple experiences on public transit of people out of nowhere just telling me I need to go back home. You know, all these experiences that I carry, I'm sure like other people have other experiences that they deal with, but it has been reinforced to me since being a small child that I don't belong here, that I am a visitor to Canada. And then of course when I go to Korea, everybody thinks I'm like Chinese or Japanese or something. It ends up making me feel there's no place that people think I belong fully. Another set of experiences I feel like I have that is different from a lot of other people in Derby is, I think a lot of people enjoy Derby because of the sort of counterculture undertones, and they get to feel free to be who they are and that sort of stuff. I feel like that too, but I don't know if people realize just how much of a jump it is for me as a Korean woman playing roller derby, because the Korean ideal, like feminine ideal, is not roller derby. It is very beautiful, demure, and they just look so graceful. And so this roller derby persona that I have, sweat pouring down my face and me being very aggressive and like taking space, all of that seems very different from what I've at least been socialized to understand as like the Korean ideal woman. And so I don't know how much people understand just how much of a weird Korean I am. I can't even explain to my Korean peers exactly what roller derby is. I feel like it's like such an alien thing, but it's also why I love derby so much, because it's a space where I can do that, right? I got used to the idea that I'm different from other people and that I don't always feel like I fit in, and actually feel like that's starting to be a strength, that I have learned to be comfortable with feeling like an alien, because sometimes I hear other people who aren't racialized but are stressing about not fitting in, but I'm like, well, I don't feel like I fit in anywhere, so I'm used to it, I guess. Side note, when I was living in the States, I literally had a resident alien card. Being Korean Canadian in a predominantly white roller derby space, I do feel like I stand out in some ways, but what's nice is there's a lot of other folks that also don't fit in. They're also a bunch of weirdos, so they're a lot more accepting of people who are different. That really helps.
My name is Lee, and my derby name is Fairly Bionic. My pronouns are they, them, and fey, fair. I've been playing, minus pandemic, about 11 years. I am currently involved in Team Philippines Roller Derby, Team Ontario Roller Derby, Ottawa Valley Roller Derby, Ottawa Roller Derby, Kingston Roller Derby, and Toronto Mixed Roller Derby. Gloria is just such a fun person to be around. I've only known her for a relatively short period of time, like a couple of years, but it's been an absolute pleasure working with her, seeing them grow and their skill shift over time. It's been a good time.
My name is Jan. My derby name is Mean Bean. All my pronouns are she, her. When I went from level 1 to level 2, so the level 2s and level 3s were mixed. And so Coach Kim had suggested that people who wanted to could be mentors for the new level 2s. And then Gloria volunteered to be my mentor, which was really sweet. And Gloria was a great derby mentor. She was always like so encouraging. Like you could be feeling like you're doing absolutely horrible, and like Gloria will still be like, "Oh, you're doing great. You were in the way. That's so annoying."
It's not for everyone, but I really felt like going to the skate park and trying out tricks was a really fun way for me to get better at skating. I'm always looking to make more friends at the skate parks. It's my sort of agenda there.
I'm Alicia Gardner, or Mixed Surrelot. I'm a member of Ottawa Valley Roller Derby.
Oh, any pronouns. Gloria's lovely. She taught me how to park skate. She's great. She's gotten a lot of people into the sport.
So Gloria Guns is a friend of mine, and I met her originally through Derby.
It's funny because part of the reason why I wanted to join roller derby in the first place was because in roller derby at the time, I just was overwhelmed with how cool everyone in roller derby seems to be. Like, it just seems like there's so many cool folks.
But I think I really developed a relationship with her through park skating. And I remember just being very intimidated by her because she was so good and so cool. Okay, like, this cool person is never going to want to be my friend. And she kept offering to bring me to the skate park.
It's one of the things I like about the skate park. The skate park is just whatever you want it to be. You know, there's no set linear path on getting good at the skate park.
She was just so sweet. She was so down to earth, and she was very funny. And she actually inspired me. I'd film her doing certain things, and she's like, you know, people would probably really enjoy if, like, you know, somebody was at the park filming her the tricks. And she was just meant in general. And then I'm like, So, like, I can hang around with cool people and film them doing tricks. And that basically spawned me filming skate park events. And it just developed into this whole thing over time.
Gloria, really?
At the skate park, she'll be like, oh, that looks like insert trick here.
Nice. Yeah, Woo! Instant time. Allie. So that's a box roll.
Like, she's very positive, just exudes positivity. Not intimidating anymore, still super cool.
I get hints that people might actually like me, and that's great. Our local group, we decided to call ourselves Mob Ottawa. It's a continuation of CIB Ottawa, basically. It's not like a formal organization of any sort. I would just say it's just like community or a network of skaters that like to skate at the skate park or go trail skating. There's no identifiable list of members or anything like that. It's just anyone who happens to see our Instagram post about like meeting up.
Sorry? Are you sure? Can you make an angry face? Oh, yeah. Yeah, good.
No, I'd love to see more designated skate spaces of different types, whether it's flat track derby or the skate park, especially in the wintertime in Ottawa. It would be great to have a designated derby space, for example, instead of, often struggling to find a place where we can rent to practice derby, especially in the wintertime when hockey rinks like this are not available because they actually have people playing hockey there.
Yes. Can you tell me about garage sessions and how that started?
Oh my goodness. They're my favorite things, and I'm hoping that I'm going to heal in time to be able to get back to it soon. I got Beard and Bread built me a tiny little quarter ramp, which was just absolutely great, except that I don't actually have space to store it in my house. So when wintertime came around, I asked Bean if she would be willing to house my quarter ramp in her garage for the winter, and she was such a good friend. She was totally up for it, and then she also decided, why not just build another quarter ramp? And so then all of a sudden we had access to a little indoor skate park in Bean's garage, our own private skate park. And it's been a lot of fun. My favorite type of party last year when we would just go over to Bean's house and eat like junk food, listen to like 90s like pop music.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the turtle?
Oh yeah. Wait, how the turtle started?
I posted on an Instagram story saying I was tempted to buy one, and then Allie said, oh, my sister bought one for the skate park and now she's like super good. And I'm like, oh shit, if I get this turtle, I'm gonna be super good. Didn't happen.
Oh, Bean! No. Oh, yes! You did it!
I missed the turtle completely.
No, I need a bigger turtle.
Yes!
Oh my god, yes! That was awesome!
Try it again, because I think like you've got the form. Yeah, you've got the form to do it. Also, this is like beautiful lighting. Nope. I don't think I want to go too fast.
Turtle butt is famous.
I'm pretty sure you're responsible for it like becoming infamous.
I think it's because Bean is like way cooler than she realizes, and so when people saw Bean wearing the turtle, they also wanted to wear the turtle, and then we all wanted to get shots of us wearing the turtle while doing tricks.
I've been trying the skate park. I'm terrified of the skate park, but probably pre-pandemic I first tried the skate park. I went once, it was terrifying. I never went back. But then actually you really inspired me to try the skate park because you were just fearless. You had your turtle, you put your turtle on and you went down in the bowl and fell on your butt and got up laughing and tried it again. So I was like, well, if all these people in my league can do this, what's holding me back? I couldn't find an excuse to not go. So So I went to the skate park.
I've been asked, is the turtle coming to the skate park? Rather than, are you coming to the skate park?
And then now it's become a whole thing where if like other skaters from other cities come to visit us, they want to be asked to wear a turtle. And now it's like an honor. Like the rollerbladers get excited if you ask them to wear their turtle. We had some pretty great park skater instructors like Duffy Salazar who got to wear the turtle. Like it's an honor to be asked to wear the turtle.
He's very popular and he's been on a lot of butts.
I just want to talk to you about the crazy videos, like the themed videos.
A lot of the ideas I get are from the rollerbladers.
You clearly enjoy making videos, doing really silly things, especially at the skate park.
A lot of people don't know is that my undergrad degree is actually in communication. What I did get out of that was a little bit of video editing training, and I think the only thing I've really retained from that is my love of making skating videos and just trying to come up with interesting themes and thinking about what message am I trying to convey with this particular type of fall.
What message are you trying to convey?
Gravity works.
Oh, yeah.
Revere gravity.
Yes, that's right. By the way, where are we going right now?
Oh, I'm making
over there.
Bean come with me to this obstacle course. Even though I'm injured, I want to try some stuff on it.
Yeah.
Hopefully will not result in more injury.
And you're going to throw your body against it, even though you're literally walking with a cane. And just like how you brought your boxing glove to the skate park when you were healing your finger.
Oh, yes.
And like you probably will do in the next couple of months again.
I always listen to medical advice.
Yeah, that's right.
We're just going to walk through these bushes.
Right.
I'm very active on social media, specifically my Instagram. It's entirely because I want to make more skate friends. I found that Instagram has been a really good way to meet other skaters, especially in other cities. So now I can go to Toronto and message some skaters that I've interacted with from Toronto and say, hey, do you want to meet up and skate? And they will just show up and skate with me. And then I'll like have made these friends, not just online, but in real life. And
Gloria is probably one of the most badass people I have met, hands down, which hands down fun because she is frequently on them doing cartwheels while in her skate.
Whee! Myself, I really like skating sideways in what's called side stands. It actually used to be the main style skating back in the 80s when roller skaters were starting to skate on vert ramps. And it's a little bit more unusual to see now. And I like that that's a style that I've felt as my own thing.
They are often posting videos of things that they're doing, like handstands and their various yoga positions.
Actually, what I've been thinking a lot about lately is cross training. I've actually been doing a lot more yoga lately. I have like a lot of sore muscles and I'm starting to get some chronic issues. So I do a lot of physio quite regularly, but, and massages as much as I can, but, those things can be expensive. Yoga is something that helps so many things, like in terms of like mobility and like stretching, all the stretching that we don't do, some strength building. It's a really good counterbalance to roller derby. Unfortunately, my hips can't take it anymore. I start to, get these problems if I do too much. So I am starting to learn to have an off season, to do other kinds of activities too, like yoga. I still lift weights quite regularly. I do like feeling strong, and having some muscles that protect my bones is a great feeling. Getting injured, I'm still learning to deal with it, but because I spent so much time at the skate park, I've gotten really used to falling. In fact, I will be bold and say I'm really good at falling. Like, I fall a lot. I have broken my finger, and I really want to emphasize this to the camera. This was from the skate park when I was trying to grind a rail, and it never healed properly. I actually need to get surgery. That was super annoying when I first broke it because I wasn't supposed to do anything that would involve possibly falling for a couple of months. And that was really, really tough because roller skating for me is my self-care. It's what helps keep my mental health in good shape, not just physical health, but my mental health in good shape. So I really had to take care of myself. I've also recently had a concussion. About 2 months ago, this is at the skate park. None of these are roller derby injuries. I actually recovered pretty quickly. I think it was a mild injury, but I had to miss the first 2 games of the season, and I was super bummed about that because I really wanted to play. So I was skating in the Pride Parade with the other roller skaters about a week and a half ago. So our friend Darren had bought this really cool ramp, which I think you should show. So I was working on a trick that involved having another skater lie down at the end of the ramp, and I was skating and jumping over this roller skater, and I missed the landing, but I landed in the splits by accident. And I can't actually do the splits normally, so ended up getting a pretty not fun hamstring strain. You can see that I've got like a galaxy here. Right shot of my ass. Yeah. Here. I don't know where this came from. I had to actually get carted away by the street medics in a golf cart. I'm obviously injured now. I'm not going to be able to skate for, I think it's going to be more than a month. I was going to take an off season after Derby season anyway, and it is fortunate that this happened after the Derby bounce season. I was just hoping that I would spend the off season skating at the skate park. I realized that I have to get surgery on this finger at some point. I've been putting off the surgery to get the tendon transfer to fix this little deformity, and then I guess in my infinite wisdom decided why not be like extra injured while I'm already injured, and I'm going to get it next week. I'm going to guess now I'm probably not going to be able to go back to roller derby until like December at the earliest. In all of the cases of these injuries, I've reminded myself that roller skating, roller derby, it doesn't actually define the entire idea of me. I am more than just roller skating, even though I do a lot of it and that's all I talk about. I try to use it as an opportunity to remember or discover other things that I enjoy. And it's really hard because I love skating. Oh, won't you hit me? Will ya block me? Have your way, go ahead and let me have it. Will ya let me feel your rage? So a couple of years ago, I wrote a song basically about roller derby, about really wanting and enjoying having blockers hit me. Yeah, it's a song about a jammer that just really enjoys the sport. And I ended up calling the song Block Me. And my band was really awesome because they don't play roller derby, but they put up with me and helped develop the song, and we got to record it. And a couple of weeks ago, we played a game in Sherbrooke, and we were trying to decide what song we wanted to play when our team was skating onto the track and being introduced. And my team decided that they wanted to play my song Block Me. So to have my own song playing while I'm rolling out onto the track to play roller derby, just my heart was overflowing with like joy, and what a like special moment that was. Oh yeah. Yeah. As part of the releasing of the song, I wanted to release a music video for Block Me on zero budget. I just like asked my friends, including my friend Bean, to see if they wanted to help me out record this music video. Basically asking my derby teammates like, hey, will you hit me for this music video? And it just got like more and more outlandish. People just started wearing different costumes while they were hitting me. None of those hits in the music video are real. They're all staged, including the one with the backward somersault. It was a lot of fun. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Good idea. I'm doing a PhD at the Faculty of Law at the University of Ottawa. I'm super proud of it. It's been a dream for me to do this specific piece of research. It's in human rights, looking at the housing crisis. It can be really heartbreaking, honestly, the research that I'm working on. The work is also very serious and sad as well, too. Sometimes, while also intellectually very like stimulating and challenging. So sometimes I need to have some sort of balance, something that isn't so serious necessarily. And that's why I really like roller skating, because it reminds me of the good side of things, of how much fun life can be, how great people can be. People can also be really terrible. There's a lot of joy in the world and pleasure. So it's a good way to counterbalance that. Roller skating, I think, really helped change who I am from my past self. I feel like years ago I was, maybe still am, very type A personality, very anxious. I've been very cranky because I spent a lot of time just working. Kind of a hard ass, you know, working all the time, being productive. It's a really quick way to burning out. Roller skating helped me realize that it's really important to have fun, that I'm just doing this hobby just because I want to, because I like it, purely for my own pleasure. It really changed my personality because then I started really prioritizing having fun, enjoying myself, being kind to other people, and underneath all that self-care for my mental health. Roller skating helped me realize that it's important to take part in that self-care. And that self-care can involve sometimes like having a lot of fun. Not just in roller derby, but in roller skating, the faces change over time. It's not always a permanent thing. A lot of times people are off for a while because they're injured, and sometimes it's for a couple of months, sometimes it's for a year. It's important to treasure and appreciate their presence in my life right now, and to understand that very few things are forever.
So at this point in time, I have been off of skates for a little bit under a year. So I had my top surgery booked for Halloween of 2023. I ended up with a herniated disc injury in my neck.
For clarification, the herniated disc was not from roller derby.
That disc injury turned out to be an environment for infection. Bacteria through my bone and blood ate through a couple of my vertebrae. My central nervous system was crushed for a little bit because I didn't have my vertebrae holding my head up, so the weight of my head was essentially coming down on those nerves. I was in so much pain that I couldn't even sit up. I couldn't walk. I felt different parts of my body shutting down on me. So at some point it was kind of waiting in my bed to die. I ended up in emergency surgery for my spine. So I am now a titanium from C4 to C7 in my spine, which is why I skate under Fairly Bionic now. When I first reached out to the roller derby community, letting them know that I was in the hospital, that it would be probably a good while before I was able to come back on skates, there was so much overwhelming support of, we don't care whether you can roller skate or not, we just want you to be around. I had somebody visiting me in the hospital almost every day for the week and a half that I was there, and a lot of them were people from roller derby. So that meant a whole lot to me. People would check in and be like, how are you doing? Because this is such a huge part of your life that you're not fully able to participate in for a while. That's gotta have some kind of impact on your mental health. And to be honest, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be, given the circumstances that I was in before the surgery. I'm still here, and there is a chance that I wouldn't have been. And I did spend a fair bit of time grieving my physical capacity, and I still do that a little bit now. When I first herniated my disc in my neck and the surgeon looked over my MRI, he didn't think surgery was necessary because it was such a mild herniation. And he actually suggested at that time that I quit roller derby because there was the risk of re-herniating it over and over again, which would be really bad for my spine. Then when he ended up having to see me for my emergency surgery because of the infection, he told me we could actually talk about roller derby again once I was healed. So silver lining to all of this is that at some point I get to come back and be part of this beautiful sport on the track again.
My outlook in life is there's not enough time to do all the things that I want to do. I just feel like I don't have enough lives to do all the things that the world has to offer, and I want to experience it all because I feel like our time on Earth, our life is actually really short in the grand scheme of things, and there's so many things out there to experience. Skating is my happy place, and so when I'm like at the skate park, or if I'm at Derby and I'm just like smiling or cracking jokes or dancing on the track, that's genuine. That's really me. That's because I'm feeling great. I'm in a place with people that I like, doing something that I enjoy because I want to, not because I have to be there. I like roller skating so much, both derby and skating at the skate park. And I feel like, I mean, there's so many benefits, obviously, like exercise and a chance to meet cool friends, and in the case of the skate park, being able to be outside. But I feel like it really equips me with a lot of different skills that are really useful, but like applicable in other aspects of my life, because Derby and the skate park has taught me courage and a bunch of skill sets in how to face really challenging situations. When you're standing at the skate park on the top of a tall vert ramp that you've never gone down before, and you're terrified, you know you want to do it, but you're just absolutely scared, right? Or you're like at a derby game as a jammer, in my case, lining up at the jam line, just waiting for the jam to start, and like, you know, you're looking up and the opposing team has like these amazing blockers that you know are going to give you not an easy time. That fear and that anxiety is there. I've gone through those moments enough times at Derby and at the skate park as well, where I've learned to sort of like focus my mind, and instead of just ignoring my feelings and pretending that it's not there, I acknowledge, yeah, this is scary, or this is challenging, or this is really like, you know, stressful.
I don't know how a turtle sounds.
But not letting myself off the hook, figuring out how to get that moment to just push through while like honoring my feelings and doing it anyway. I feel like there are so many aspects of me. There's the office professional, like bureaucrat. Then you've got the super giddy, mildly irresponsible park skater self that wants to some mild trespassing on private property and skate on a ledge, or roller derby, where this weirdly violent side of me comes out and just really wants to hit people and wants people to hit me. Or that artistic side of me that is the musician. All of these things are me. I think that the friends that are closest to me are the ones I can be all of these things, including some of my roller derby friends.
Gloria constantly amazes me with all the things she does. Okay, but we're focusing on her.
Even though they aren't exactly like me in all of these things, they are not also, you know, bureaucrat musicians that are Asian and PhD students, roller derby skaters. The fact that they let me be whoever I want to be in that moment is what really matters. I have this space where I can really explore this side of me that comes out as the persona that is Gloria Guns.
I trust you not to give me the villain edit, so.
That's so funny. Other people maybe, but not you. No, just kidding. So I am going to interview people about you.
Nice.
Awesome. And I'm going to just ask you quickly about Gloria, because I need to ask people about Gloria as well.
Yeah.
So, whatever you want to say about Gloria.
It's hard for me to read people, and sometimes I can't tell if people like me or just put up with me, or people think I suck or whatever.
Oh, she's just the meanest person. She's just an absolute bitch.
Yeah, and then you can counter that with like your interviews with other people talking about me, and they're like, yeah, Gloria does suck.
A really good skater, but just so mean.
I'm gonna guess how people see themselves is different from how other people actually see them.
Yeah, every time she's at the skate park, I just leave because I don't want to be around her.
But it's hard for me to tell. Sometimes I don't even know if people like me.
I have a clip of her saying, I'm not sure if people like me, so this is gonna go right after that.
No, to be honest, even if people didn't like me, I probably would keep skating anyway, because I'm a little clueless and wouldn't necessarily know.
Gloria's amazing. I was supposed to go to Las Vegas and get married to Gloria, derby married to Gloria this year, and I wasn't able to go because I was too busy with the store.
I just have like no sense of how I'm doing in other people's eyes.
Yeah, she's great. She's not a great pivot though.
So sometimes it's a bit of a struggle
trying to figure out if I'm like really disappointing my teammates by like not doing something right.
One of my memories of Gloria, and I'm sorry, Gloria, but she pivoted for me during a game against Sherbrooke and forgot she was pivoting. So I couldn't get out because I am not a jammer. Just stuck. And I was looking for Gloria and she was nowhere to be seen. She was blocking. She was over there blocking.
Right.
I just remember being up against this dude and it was just a constant fight. And I was looking around and calling her name. And after way too long doing this, I just stopped him on the track, took my star off, looked around. Gloria was 20 feet behind me. So I skated back. I went up to Gloria and said, "Here you go." And she went, "Oh," took it and left. And I was so grumpy and I felt really bad for being so grumpy. But in hindsight, it was really funny. Gloria's a great jammer. She is actually, her blocking skills are getting really good. I just wouldn't have her pivot because she needs one job. And she's really good at that jamming. Like, she's really good. When she's jamming, she has one job and she's really good at it.
I think I'll put this also with the villain edits.